So, it's interesting. Like it's the off season. We're officially here, and
yes, we are.
And Eagles fans and me and a lot of people, I still think we're in this Super Bowl or bust mindset with this team, and there's been nothing that has happened that has really thrown me off the scent of that. Mm-hmm. Like, this is still a Super Bowl or bust team, and this is still an all-in offseason. It's an all-in, push your chips in, still go for it, and keep pushing kind of offseason for me. And we can't let the Eagles off the hook. We can't let them have a step-back season. We can't let them lower expectations because it's still right in front of them, Mike.
Yeah, listen, and we discussed this, and I as much as I want to feel that, I don't feel that.
Oh, no.
No, I don't feel that. And the Eagles, quite frankly, and it's still early, haven't given me any reason to feel that. So I say that to say, as we sit here on February 1st, we're finally in February.
Happy February.
Yes, January is finally over with.
And what's your least favorite month? Is it February or is it January?
My least favorite month.
Your least favorite month.
Wow. My least, maybe July.
July?
Yeah.
Oh, that's usually when we take our break.
Yeah, but I don't want to take a break. And
it's hot. It's really hot.
Yeah, August is preseason training camp, so I love that. September through January is for obvious reasons. Yeah. It's the greatest time of the year. It's the greatest time of the year. But even with February and March and April, there's something to coming out of the winter months, going into the spring that I can appreciate.
Well, and plus, towards the end of February, you get to see the boys down in Clearwater.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You get around to the baseball season.
Hope springs eternal.
The azaleas.
Oh,
Amen's corner. Come on, man.
Tiger, it's his
yes,
year.
Exactly.
I think.
So July is the month I don't necessarily.
215. What's your least favorite month? Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're a summer guy. You like you got baseball in the summer.
I have a summer body for sure. Like any chance I can get to take my shirt off, I'll take that chance. You know what I mean?
But anyway,
back to the important things.
Back to the important things with the Eagles. Until I said it to say in 6 months, if they made X move, Y move, and Z move that has improved the team to where I didn't necessarily believe that's what they were going to. Mm-hmm. I didn't envision them doing. I reserve the right to sort of change my mind and reevaluate. But right now, I got to be honest with you, it may be the more smart, prudent thing to do, which is let's take a step back. Obviously, reevaluate everything that we have moving forward, what we're trying to do. You got new coaches here. This defense has to basically be overhauled, man. Like, you want to keep putting Band-Aids on this defense and trying to plug and play with this player or that player on a one-year deal. Yeah, it worked out in 2017. Yes, it worked out in 2022. But for the most part, those things don't usually work out. And this should be a draft that they lean heavily on the defensive side of the ball with.
Kind of taking that Chiefs model, actually heading into last year.
Yes, man. You need to get enough talent in your secondary, in your linebacking group, young guys up front that you have under control from a contractual standpoint for the next 3 to 4 years. And you got to hit on these guys. And I know you're not going to hit on every guy. And I haven't even looked at how many draft picks they have. But let's say they have 7 or 8 draft picks. I got to come out of there with four at a minimum, 4 players that I feel confident in giving significant playing time to, along with some of the young guys that we had last year. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the Eagles should be a sub-500 team, don't make the playoffs, anything of that nature. I'm just saying, for me to put them in that category of winning the Super Bowl or it's a bust, I don't see that right now. I felt that coming off of last year because you were pretty much bringing back everybody coming off of that Super Bowl appearance. I don't think that's going to happen this year. We may lose Jason Kelsey. You may lose Fletcher Cox. Who else you might lose?
BG.
You're going to lose, well, if you listen to Howard, only for certain things, not everything. Only for certain things. BG's coming back. Mm-hmm. So I'm just assuming BG's back. Even
DeAndre Swift?
That's into the reduced role, yes. Throw Swifty in there. That's a guy we're going to miss out of our starting lineup. Are we coming back with both corners? All 3 corners? What are we looking at with Avonte, James Bradbury, and D. Slay? Right now, you got 1 vote for me, Slay.
Yeah, and let me put it this way. If James Bradbury's on this team next year, and Kevin Byard.
Right.
You can kiss your Super Bowl goodbye.
Okay,
so
see, there we go.
Clean house. Clean house.
So at least if we're just going off the premise that most of these guys, those guys, you hope to be replaced. And there's going to be some salary cap hits, some dead cap space. But I'm sorry, Eagles. Kevin Byard, I just don't know how you can come back with him next year and expect him to be a better player than what you saw this year.
Another year older.
He
had one play, right? I mean, and he had one play. It was the interception, and that was the second football he touched all year. He's supposed to be a ball.
He touched 2 balls all year.
He can't go through life like that.
You can't do that, especially over a 6-7 month span.
And he's embarrassing in the Bucs game. Like the whole secondary was.
Yes, the whole secondary was. I know, I totally
And he might have
agree.
let him mutiny against Sean Desai, but that's...
You keep adding stuff to it.
He did, dude. He came out and said, we did our own scouting reports. And everyone's like, that's normal. No, it's not. No, it's not. He's a mutant.
Okay, so I'm fine moving on there. And you got young safeties. Are you trying to improve at that position? Meaning you got Sidney Brown and you got Reed Blankenship there, or are you going to go out and draft guys?
Well, and Sidney probably won't be ready for week 1, right?
Exactly. More likely that he won't be ready than he will be ready.
It's interesting about the safety thing, too, because a lot of people have talked in the last couple of days. I think when Vic Fangio was hired, it was, the linebacker. He needs linebackers. A lot of people are saying, like, the safety has to be the star of the Vic Fangio defense.
Okay.
Well, if that's the thing,
well,
who do we got?
Listen, I love Sidney. He ain't there yet.
And then Reed, I think Reed's a good player.
Reed is a solid player. There are limitations there, and he plays within the framework of his game, right? Mm-hmm. He's not out there trying to do too much. But if you're looking for someone that's a difference maker, then that's a position that you can upgrade at. Think of how strong your safety position would be if Reed was your third safety. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, it adds depth to your safety position. I'm not saying you need to get rid of the guy. I'm just saying there's potential where you can upgrade at that position. But let's say for right now, he's one of the starters. He's one of them because right now he is one of them.
Yep.
Until they have somebody better, he's going to be one of them. That being said, I just don't know if there's enough there, along with a new offense with Kellen Moore that you're going to have to learn and the new defense under Vic Fangio. If I can expect them to really be playing on Championship Sunday or for a Super Bowl. Making the playoffs, yes, there's enough talent on offense, and there's enough. You're devoid of enough talent in the NFC that the Eagles should be one of the 7 best teams in the conference.
Right. By the way,
just by rolling the football out there, even though that's a basketball term.
It is a basketball term. They have 9 picks in the draft, Ike.
Ooh, 9. Oh, yeah. You got to hit on 4 or 5 of those.
So they have their first round pick, 2 seconds, a third, and then 4 fifth-round picks. So 5th round's where they shine.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Yes. That's their draft.
5th and down.
5th and down. 215-592-9494 is how you get in. Is this an all-in offseason for you? Is your mindset still Super Bowl or bust? Or are you okay rebuilding the defense, and maybe a little bit of a step-back season? We're not usually a step-back season kind of fan base, especially when it comes with the Eagles. And like, I hear everything you're saying. And, yeah, they got to rebuild the defense. That's fine. If you want to take the Chiefs mentality and just draft all those defensive players and hope you can hit on most of them, sure, I agree. Rebuild the defense. You don't hire Vic Fangio at 65 years old for a step-back season. You don't bring in Kellen Moore, one of the higher-priced offensive coordinators in the sport, to have a step-back season. This is still win now. And for as much as we talk about the defense needs to be improved, and they got to find another edge rusher, and I totally get all that. You have, on paper, I know last year they weren't because of the points per game. On paper, to me, you still have a top 5 offense in the sport. You still have a top 5 offense.
Well, they got to reestablish themselves as a top 5 offense, and you only do that by playing top 5 at your positions. We had one guy who played top 5 at his position. That's the guy you want to trade.
Yeah. Get him out of here. Obviously, run him out of town like we do on WIP. Yeah, I mean, A.J. Brown, we'll see.
Yeah, one guy who played in top 5 position. Now, the quarterback played there for half the year. I'll give him half the year he played in the top 5 quarterback position.
It's a collective parts.
Yes.
It's a collective parts top 5.
What's our O-line? Jason Kelsey's not going to be here next year?
Kelsey might not be here, but at the same time, when did we lose faith in Jeff Stoutland? Like Jeff Stoutland is widely regarded.
He is
untouchable here.
Yeah.
Who has a job longer here, Jeff Stoutland or Howie?
That's a good question.
That's a fair question.
Well, Howie is younger.
Howie's younger.
So he'll be around for a
Stout
while.
61, I believe.
Yes.
But regardless, like, I can't stay up at night worrying about the offensive line. I know Kelsey's unbelievable. I think he's coming back regardless. Even if
you do?
I do think he's coming back.
So you're on that side now.
100%.
Okay,
He's coming
okay.
back.
I was by myself for a while there.
No, he's
certainly leaning. He's leaning into. He's so undecided. It's not that he's leaning more into I'm retired.
Can't make up my mind.
Right.
G. Willikers. So he's talking about Sirianni. He's a great coach. All this. Like, what's that? That's not a retired player.
If he was retiring, I feel like we would know at this point.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Man.
The way he's been talking about it.
You gotta wait till Travis is
I think
done.
he's just messing around. I think he's enjoying.
Come on, Fran.
Talking about new heights.
Come on, Fran. They're content kings, man. They are content.
Well,
kings.
they are doing this every week though.
Yeah, no.
He could announce it if
back.
he wanted to.
I know.
Hey, he's playing it out. He's playing it out. He knows what he's doing.
He's still up in the air. But regardless, offensive line, offensive line. You know, like we have Jeff Stoutland. Yeah, like whatever. I don't care about that. And the reality is that Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat. Yeah, it's
there it is.
Nick Sirianni's on the hot
There
seat
it
heading
is.
into 2023, like 2024.
There it is.
You can't have a step back season if your head coach is on the hot seat. Because if you have a step back season, then bang, he's out of here.
And I don't think he's on the hot seat.
Why?
Well, I mean, he's going to the playoffs 3 straight years.
What happens? What happens next year?
Well, if he makes the playoffs, that'll be 4 straight years.
No, making the playoffs is not good enough.
No?
For him to keep his job. Absolutely not.
Wow.
When you have Belichick out there, you have Vrabel out there, you have Ben Johnson out there. I watched John Fox get fired. I watched Brian Billick get fired. I watched Doug Peterson get fired. Like it's no longer just making the playoffs is good enough. I need a legitimate run from Nick Sirianni next year.
Wow.
No step back season.
Well, I mean, listen, obviously the details matter.
It can't be another collapse. Like
Right.
he's not surviving the 1-6.
The details definitely matter. But I'm thinking he's going to be back in his comfort zone. And for me, it really boils down to, can these players pick up the offense and defensive schemes of new coaches and apply them and execute them? Like I think next year will be less about Nick Sirianni. Now, he may take the ultimate downfall because of the results, but I think whatever happens next year is less about him and more about players not necessarily living up to expectations.
But it's not 16. It's not 21, where it's like a whole new thing, and when we're building this thing, moving towards something. Like they were 11-6 last year. They were 10-1, and they finished 11-6. Like they gotta recapture some.
Well,
of
Howie has to give him players like that. If you're going by the model that I'm going by, I don't know how you can expect the Super Bowl. But if Howie goes out and makes trades and signs free agents, okay, then I could see the expectations raising. So you're sort of putting real expectations or pressure on Howie to go out and put together a Super Bowl roster.
Pressure's
You know
on
what I'm
Howard.
saying? Like, I mean that's really where it kind of goes to. It's on him to put together a Super Bowl roster.
Of course. We did that 2 weeks ago. Who's 24 more on? Like, sure, Jalen has to get back to being not a top 10 to 15 quarterback. You need him back to being special. But it's way more on Howie to get this team back moving in the right direction. 215-592-9494 is how you get in. Is this an all-in offseason for you? Is next year Super Bowl or bust? What is your mindset heading into 2024?